This is pretty much going to be a talking video. There's not too much to show on the tips and tricks of upholstery work. This is more of just talking of different customers that you're going to encounter and that you need to kind of be aware of, and how to maybe, take care of them, or just not to deal with them at all. When you're starting out in your upholstery business, you're hungry, you're eager to get the customer's money and to take care of, whatever problem or job that they have. And sometimes the customer is just going to use you. And these are some kind of things that I have dealt with in when I was starting out. And I've made mistakes, and hopefully I can give you guys some information, and you guys will not make the same mistakes that I did. The first customer, the ones that are going to have a 10-minute job that don't want to pay for the 1 hour minimum. For my shop, I do have a 1 hour minimum. It is $100 an hour, and you're going to get customers that, hey, if you just, do this little repair, it's a 10-minute job, and they don't want to pay the 1 hour labor. The 1 hour labor, covers the time on the phone that you're going to be talking with them before they even get to your shop. And generally, when they get to your shop, there's a little bit more discussion before you're even doing the work. You got to kind of look at the job and, make sure that it's, you can do it within a 1 hour time frame. If you can't, and there's, you need to do more time on it, then, obviously, quote the customer another price, now that you actually see the job. Which kind of goes into the next ones. The ones that only think it's a 10-minute job because they've never done it. You're going to get the customers like, hey, why are you quoting me 5 hours? It should only take 2. If, apparently you're not, as good of a upholsterer as, that I thought, because you're charging me too much money. Hey, that's highway robbery. I'm just, it shouldn't be done in that amount of time. You should be able to do it faster. I try to generally stay away from those people. I tell them, saying, hey, that's not a problem. If I'm not as good, agree with the customer. Hey, apparently I'm not as good as, the other person. Just go ahead and have somebody else take care of it. The next one is the ones that want you to tell them how to do it and not pay for your time, and then they want your scraps for free. So pretty much they want all your information, some of your supplies, and then they're going to go and do the job, and they don't think that they need to, compensate you for your time and information and the things that you have learned. So you'll sit on the phone with them, or talk to them, for who knows how long, and then they just think that, that's it, and, they don't have to pay you for that. Well, just because you're not at a sewing machine doesn't mean you don't need to be getting compensated for your time and also your knowledge for the things that you have learned. The next one's a common one. The ones who want a discount because they're going to refer everyone to you. I do a lot of boats, so I get a lot of customers that are, all my friends have boats, all my friends have motorcycles, everybody I know needs upholstery work and canvas, and they're all going to come to you if you give me a discount, and, I'll make sure that you're the only one that, our club goes to, and, they're selling you a whole story. And it's kind of a he said, she said argument, because, what are you going to do? Say, hey, prove to me that you're going to give me all of these customers. They can't, and you can't believe it. And I did find one way to kind of shut that conversation down. What I did is I tell them that, saying, hey, you know what? You pay full price for this, and every customer that buys something from me that you refer, I will give you X percentage to you. So you could essentially start making money on all the people that you refer. Usually at that point, the customer kind of shuts down and they don't have anything to say. So they kind of stop the conversation and either say, okay, go ahead and do the job, or, they'll find something else. The next one is also a common one. The ones that tell you that someone else will do it cheaper, but they're still talking to you. That can go anything of, they get an estimate from you. They say, okay, I'll get back to you. They call you back, sometime later and say, hey, this guy over in this other place, we'll do it for this much cheaper. Well, then have them do it. For me, I don't negotiate my prices. If anything, my prices go up as far as unforeseen circumstances once I get the job. things that are broken, rusted bolts, extra things that you can't see when you first see the job that are unforeseen. So I don't negotiate my prices down at all. And I mean, in this time, if the guy's going to do it cheaper, go have them do it. And usually they come back and they say, well, the other guy's, he's 30 miles away and you're right around the corner from me. So why should you have to lower your prices because you're closer to the customer? That's the customer's problem to drive, the extra time and the distance to go to this other guy. You shouldn't have to worry about, compensating your prices. The next one is people who want custom gear but don't have a budget or an understanding of what the project and what a realistic cost is. If you're taking something and you're doing custom work on it, the type of time and material to do prototypes, and usually all of that's a waste. You got to get paid for all of those different things, and you're going to have mistakes in the prototyping and trying to figure out how to make these things or do it in a design. You're not copying what's already there and changing the color. It could be something completely custom, and those things do take time to do, and it's kind of hard to, when you're in the beginning stage, to be able to estimate those types of jobs. It's kind of a tricky situation, but just be aware of those. Sometimes the people will come in, they want a custom job, and they're ready to pay. Sometimes they're like, well, it should only take 10 minutes, for a 22-hour job. They don't have a real understanding of these things. There's another one, if you're backed up, the customer who wants you to drop everything and do their project. Kind of after COVID, everybody went out and bought boats. And there was a point in time where I was 5 to 6 months backed up, and I had 3 other people working for me that, customers would call, well, how much is it going to cost, for you to drop everything and work on mine? Because I need my boat for, the vacation or, Labor Day or July 4th or whatever that is. Personally, that is something that I will never do. I don't believe that one person is any more important than the other person, and the people that I've already have in line, I have a policy that it's a 50% deposit. So I've already taken money and told those other customers that it will be done in this amount of time. So for some to kind of jump the line, and it's usually not a small job, they think that they're more important, and I generally will just stay away from those people and just tell them, nope, I'm not doing the job. I don't do anything like that. There's other people that they want to take everything apart. They want to bring you the fabric, and they think it should be 50 to 75% off of your labor, of your estimate. You give them a quote for, to do some boat seats, and they say, well, if I take the boat seats out, if I take all the seats apart, and I bring you the fabric, it should, we should drop the price, this much amount of money. Well, sometimes that's okay to do if they're taking the stuff out. I've had customers where and this was one for me, that they didn't pull the staples or cut the staples. They cut the fabric right next to the staples, and the seats had already been wrapped once before. So there was 2 layers of staples and 2 layers of fabric that were built up on there, and the guy was just like, nope, just wrap over it, and that's fine, because the boat's going to go up for sale, and I just need to get new upholstery on there so it looks nice. And that was something that I had to go back, and I learned my lesson on that I'll never do that again. That I had to go back and I cut all the staples off to make sure that the back sides were all nice and flat, so that the new fabric would go and sit flush and be a presentable job. That if for whatever reason the customer that bought the boat found out that I did the upholstery and didn't needed to do any further work, that he saw that my work was good. Now, some of these customers that you're going to deal with, that I've just kind of talked about, that you can, work with them. You can, make sure that, your terms are correct from the beginning, so that way there's no misunderstanding. And some of these people that I've talked to, I just won't deal with. Now, this is my personal preference. You can, obviously do anything that you want just with your business or, your hobby or whatever you want to do. I just like to give you some information that you're going to deal with some of these peoples that think that they can just get stuff done for free. And sometimes it's kind of tricky in how they talk to you. And hopefully, again, you can learn from my mistakes, and you won't have these problems, or at least, you'll find a way to stop it from the beginning, and you can actually be profitable from the situation. Thanks for watching the video. Hopefully you were able to get some good information for doing upholstery jobs. If you like this video, hit the like and subscribe button and ring that bell for future notifications, and I'll do my best to continue making content for you. Thanks again.